Hi everyone, so this is an update on my succulents that I'm growing. So as I'm presenting the succulents, I realized that in the last video I had actually messed up the orientation of the succulents since I have a very large growing tray. So in the first video I've actually started with the top corner here. So I'll go ahead and get started on like how our succulents are doing. And so you can see that they're doing really great. A lot of them had developed plants growing from them, and they've this one's really shot up and done a really great job at developing. I'm really excited for a lot of the ones here at the bottom, because you can see here there's actually 3 little plants coming from this one leaf, and again another 3 plants growing from this leaf. So these are doing really well. This one's also developing really well. There's actually 2 plants, one at the back and the bigger one up front here, and they're growing really, really well. The burrow's tail here, 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 and here. They're also all doing really well, and I'm really excited to see how much quicker they're going to grow. The average temperature is closer to 15 to 20 degrees for the past month. We had a couple of weeks, maybe 2 weeks of really, really warm weather for the season. It was probably closer to 25, but it seems like the temperature is going to kind of stay remain around the 15 to 20 degrees for the next 2 weeks or so. And so I'll actually go ahead and move the tray instead of the camera this time around. And so I'm really excited to say that our Chinese dunce caps are looking really, really cool. So you can see that I have a couple of Chinese dunce caps. So one here and one here. And it's actually really cool. You might remember that in a previous video that the flower part was like really nice and tight and tucked to the bottom and hugged close to the bottom of the soil. So same thing at the back over here. But you can also see that it's really grown up, and I don't know whether or not, well, I'm quite sure that they're trying to reach for light, but the other neat thing is that their offshoots had also done the same thing, and it looks like the weight of them had kind of caused the offshoots to lower into the ground and perhaps find a new place to live. So you can see that at the very top corner here, or the other corner here, this is another Chinese dunce cap, and so that's the one that's probably closer to how I first picked it up earlier. What I'm really excited about is the climbing crassulas, and so I have this one here and this one here, and I think during the last video they were actually both really short and like tight fitting to the ground, like the crowns were really tight, and now they've started growing upwards, so I'm really excited to see that. This one's grown especially well, so I'm really excited to see how quickly they grow. And so moving on here, I have my Mother 1000. It's growing really well. This is another succulent that's, I think I might actually get 2 or 3 plants out of the one leaf. This one's the painted echeveria, right over here. And it's starting to bud as well. It looks a little bit odd, to be honest, because if I actually move the camera a little bit closer, it doesn't really necessarily look like a floret. It looks like it has like a weird growth, and that's that kind of red section there. And so I wonder how that's going to turn out. So we'll find out soon enough. Here is the rest of my succulents, and I'm really excited to report that for quite a bit of my succulents, the mother leaf had actually kind of fallen off. So that's really, really cool to see, because some people like to kind of actually remove them once they see the like a plant growing, but I personally prefer to just let the succulents do their thing and let the mother leaf fall off. Okay, moving on. So this is this particular section is full of my donkey's tail, and they're doing pretty good. I have another type of succulent here, no idea what it is, but it's doing really well here too. I'm also really excited to say that I have like 2 beautiful plants here. The mother leaf's also fallen off this one. This one also has 2 plants, and that one does too. And so we'll see how quickly the mother leaf will fall off, like this one and this one. I also had a little loss here. I forget what was growing there, and I guess I'll go back into my old videos to see what I had, but I've sadly lost that one. That one just never really took off, I think. I don't think it rooted, or it just kind of dried out, so which is really too bad, but that's okay. I got plenty more. Alright, and so last but not least, the last section. So you can see that my panda ears are doing really, really well in the top corners. So if I could just get the camera to focus again. So you can see here, here, and here, those are my panda leaves. You can see that this one in the top corner, the mother leaf's starting to actually dry out, and that's what the discoloration is here. And so I'm really excited to see how well they're growing, and how quickly these are growing, because they're just like really cute and really fuzzy to touch. You can also see that, I don't know, I think this is a burrow's tail as well. Maybe or some sort of sedum, but like it also has like another plant growing from it. I've noticed that it had always been there and it was definitely attached to this plant, but I just wasn't too sure which part of the plant it was. And so but in recent weeks it really started to take off, so I'm really excited about that. And here are my remaining plants. And so here's my painted Echeveria and all my other plants. Burrow's tail, and I don't know what these are. I think these are my Mother 1000s, but I like to call them my little bear paws. So fingers crossed that they're gonna come out really well. Alright, so next up we have some more of my plants, and so here's a bigger view of my plants, of my other plants rather. And so that's another one, and there's that, and also that. So I'm going to zoom up on each of them earlier. So the crassulas I pointed out earlier, they all kind of look like this, and they've really grown since then, so I'm really excited about that. So first I'm going to show you this particular pot. And so my partner and I, we've squirreled these from a neighbor's yard, and they're doing really well. They were actually looking a little sick earlier, but that was towards the end of winter, and then they've really done really well. They've gotten a lot juicier looking. Before they were kind of like yellow. So next up are a slew of topsy-turvy leaves that I had removed / had knocked off, and so they're doing really well. I was so impressed at how quickly these grown, because I had probably put them up maybe a month ago, and or maybe 6 weeks ago, and this is how much they've grown. You can see that the mother leaves had all kind of, or almost all, had withered away, and they're doing absolutely fabulous. I'm just so impressed at how quickly these had grown and how big they've gotten. So I think I'm gonna have to replant them really, really soon. They're definitely getting a little bit too crowded there, but we'll find out. So I also have a painted Echeveria here. You can see the little nubbin plant growing from it. And I also have a bunch of other additional sedums or succulents that are still growing here. You can see some of them have roots developing as well. And so towards the back and slowly rolling its way up front. So that is from an Aeonium kiwi. I heard it's quite difficult to propagate Aeonium kiwis from leaves, but I guess I figured it out. I didn't, but it was like, but I'm really happy to see that they're actually doing something. I'm waiting for them to root, because they haven't really developed any, like, even though the plant was developing, they haven't really rooted yet. And so, which I think can be a problem, because if they don't eventually develop their own roots, then they can't suck up their own water, and so they're just really relying on the mother leaf. So hopefully we see some roots coming soon, so fingers crossed. And so I also have another succulent here. It's sort of upside down, like I think the leaf is actually inverted, but I kind of figured how to grow even though it was upside down. I have this guy here. There are 2 plants coming from this one. and another one here. Next up is my other container. So I'm not going to point out all of them, except a couple I suppose, but I'm really excited to see that they're doing really well. They look really cute and really pretty. I'm really excited to see how quickly they're growing. I really like how the fat, juicy one here is finally producing like a little cluster of leaves that can look like little grapes. I think it's really cute. You can see some panda ears here. A little fat cluster of, I guess, succulent leaves. And then another panda ear here. I'm not really too sure what these are, but they've definitely rooted. But they are, I think, from IKEA. They have this cool little cobweb look to it. I'm not really too sure what they're called, but they're really cool to look at. I really like how they develop their own cobwebby bits. Alright, and so we have another succulent here where the mother leaves like really dried up. So push it to the side. I have some crassula or jade plant that's also propagating, is doing a really nice job there. Oh yes, and this one. I don't think this is going to make it, but this particular leaf is from what looks like to be a hairy echeveria. It's not a panda ear, but it's hairy like a panda ear, but the flower looked like it came from a hairy echeveria, so I don't think it's going to make it, but that's okay. Stay tuned for next month to find out more. So that's that for that pot. I also want to show this. So these are additional cuttings that I had picked up. So they're doing really well, to be honest. So the green one here on the right was it just wasn't growing. Honestly, it was just this leaf for a really long time. And then maybe for the last 2 weeks, this started growing. This and the next pot that I'll show you. So that's the sedum over here. And I think this might be some sort of purple echeveria, I'm not really too sure. But this pot and also this one, they are on a warmer window. And so with the way that my yard's structured, I had originally put the succulents in a south-facing window, but because there are trees in the yard, now that's June and that's the leaves on the tree had filled in. There's really no more, we're just really shaded on all southern facing windows, so these are doing especially well because I've actually placed them in like a western facing eastern facing window, sorry, where there's no windows, and it could go as warm, the windowsill I've seen could go as warm as 35 degrees, so I think that's why they're growing really, really well, because this, especially this one in particular, did not take off until maybe 2-3 weeks ago, so quite impressed by that. So yeah, thank you for watching my video. Hope you guys are having a good one.